And we're live. We are live. How's it going, guys? Oh, it's that time of year again. It's Christmas. I've now got a few days off. How many days have I got off? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We've got 5 days off, which is nice. Been a fucking manic few weeks. Honestly, it's been a manic year. I was kind of counting, and I was trying to think of days off this year where I've done nothing. But I don't think I've really had a true day off this year where I've had nothing on, and it's been fucking it's been tiring. So I plan on honestly trying to relax as much as possible in the next sort of 5 days, trying to recharge my batteries, so to speak. Been grinding like a fucking madman. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully you guys are looking forward to Christmas. Hopefully you guys have a good one, mainly. And yeah, man, stay safe. More importantly, enjoy yourself and stay safe. Big up to Levi. Big up, Levi. Hopefully you're keeping well, Levi. What's up, Del Boy? Happy holidays to you and yours. You too, bro. You too. Have a great one, man. Have a great one. Over there in it. NYC, right? You're in? I'm sure you said you was in NYC before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I went boxing yesterday, like training, just, like average shit, hitting the bag and things like that. And it's been the first time in a long time. And honestly, my arms are fucked. My arms are fucked. Oh. But it is what it is. Yo, what's up, Bump of K? How you doing, cuz? How you doing? Hopefully you're keeping well. Oh, yeah, you are in NYC. We've got a storm coming in tomorrow. Night of ice and snow. Should be fun. Yeah, we had that a couple of weeks ago in the UK, and it lasted for like a week or so. It was fucking freezing. It was fucking freezing. It's not too bad today, though. I've not even got my heater on. It's not too bad. Yes, big up to Nordic, man. God bless to you too, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you're looking forward to Christmas. Have a great Christmas, mate. Looking forward to the new material next year. Yeah, man, I'm going to try and reinvigorate my interest on the boxing channel this coming year. I've got a few ideas in mind. I'm kind of looking at being a bit more abrasive with my content. Not on every single video. I'm not going to do it as like a character per se, but I'm just going to turn myself up to like 11 when it comes to certain topics in which deserve it. And yeah, it's going to be a lot more fun, I would say. Like I was experimenting with it on a couple of videos recently, like the Dubois video, for example, a couple of the Dubois videos surrounding the Lorena fight. I'm just going to be more over the top, I guess. Because I need to mix it up. Listen, I've tried to do it like somebody covering boxing, but why? I mean, I might as well talk about this like it deserves to be talked about, which is not all that seriously. Yeah, World Cup final was great, man. Really good game. Really enjoyed it. Messi versus Mbappe show. Really good game. 3 fights next year. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next year. There's some decent fights to start the year. Catterall versus Taylor has just been announced for March, which should be a good fight. Looking forward to that. But again, that's a crime. That's criminal that fight's taking place over a year later. Good shout, Nordic. You can always switch things up. I have a few ideas too. I'm planning to look a bit more into psychology and history, do more documentary style videos. That's a great idea. Psychology is something I've always been interested in. Yes, I'm not qualified. You could say it's pseudo-psychology, but I believe psychology is one of those things that certain people have a natural aptitude for. Does that make sense? Like a Clement Freud, who is somebody that many in psychology quote and reference as one of the greatest. He never had any qualifications. But yeah, psychology is something I'm interested in too. I think that'll be interesting. I think that'll be interesting. I'll definitely look forward to that, Nordic. I'll look forward to that. How you guys been doing anyway? How you guys been doing? It's been a crazy year, man. It's been a crazy year, but once again, we all got through it. Here we are. Onwards and upwards, whatever 2023 throws at us, we'll be ready for. We've gone through a lot in the last sort of 3 years or so. And yeah, I'm fully confident in my faith and the courage of my convictions to keep on doing what I need to do. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm apprehensive about a few things in the future, but you can't be scared. You can't be scared. Yeah, certain people are able to read personalities and ideologies and talk about what motivates these traits. Yeah. I find all of that very interesting, Nordic. I find all of that very interesting. No, I've never seen him fight, Levi. I've never seen him fight. Big up to Roy. Salute, Roy. What's up, Roy? How you doing? Smiling Rashford too. I've got one for you. There was 3 sets of brothers down the decades that played for Man United. Name them. So yeah, the Neville brothers, obviously. The Charltons, right? Did Jack Charlton play for Man United? I'm gonna look this up myself. I know the other one's super obvious as well. I'm not looking for the answer. No, Jack Charlton never played for Man United. I know the Nevilles. I can't really think after that, bro. Literally just come in from work. Oh, Fabio, yeah. Fabio and Raphael, yeah. That's not even that long ago. Yeah, when it comes to modern boxing and upcoming fights, I feel as if I get let down every single time I get invested. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Nordic, which is why I kind of agree. Which is why I may kind of alter my content for certain videos, my style. No, I'll keep my style as it is. But again, just turn it up to 11, be even more sarcastic and be that sort of guy, trying to get under people's skin, So yeah, there was the Neville brothers, Fabio and Raphael. Who was the last one? I'm not sure who the last ones were. The last pair of brothers. I'm tempted to actually Google it. I can't even Google the answer. To be honest with you, I can't even find the result on Google. Is what it is, though. Is what it is. Yeah, hit the like, man. I'm actually breaking my cardinal rule. Usually my rule is never to drink when I'm not going out. So basically now I don't drink when I'm like just chilling at home. But today I kind of broke that trend. It's nearly Christmas. It'd be rude not to. Been a long fucking year. So do you know what? Cheers to you guys. We're on the Corona. I've literally just come in from work as well. Popped by the shop. Got a few Coronas. Sometimes you gotta let yourself go and enjoy yourself, right? Kind of deserve it. Kind of deserve it, I reckon. And yeah, once all of this festivity period's over, we'll go back to the normal, because I barely drink anymore these days. I drink when I go out, and that's really it. And even these days, man, I used to be that guy every single weekend. I'd get blackout wasted, with the boys kind of thing. But these days, man, I went out last weekend and got fucking hammered. But before that, I think the last time before that was summer, at some point in summer. I've just kind of falling out of with that whole scene, club scene and all that shit. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, got the smelly fingers as well. We don't need to prove ourselves. We've built the resume, We've built the resume. Is that actually happening? What in God's name is Joseph Parker doing fighting Jack Massey? Is that happening? That's a weird fight. Jack Massey's he's an okay domestic cruiserweight. He's not a bad fighter, but that's poor, that is. Joey Parker's done, though. Okay, so that's on the... what card's that on? Liam Smith versus Eubank. Okay, I'm presuming that's at heavyweight as well, right? Also, Richard Riakporhe versus Krzysztof Glowacki's on that card as well. Not really sure what to make of that fight. It depends on what ambition he has. It could be a decent fight, but I've got a feeling he'll lay down. Yeah, turkey sandwiches I love. Nordic, I love turkey sandwiches. I'll tell you what I do need to get. I need to get myself a nice box of Guinness for Christmas. I need to get a nice fucking box of Guinness. I love Guinness on Christmas. I don't know why. I always love Guinness on Christmas. Yeah, fuck that. I've got the next 5 days off now. I go back on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna try. I've still got shit to do, but I'm gonna try and chill as much as possible. All work and no play makes Del Boy a dull boy. Yeah, I think he's cooked as well, Levi. Well, thank you, Roy. Yeah, thank you, Roy. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this boxing scene thing, it's very hard to get anywhere if you do it properly. When I say properly, I mean just talking about the fights, this happened, that happened. Being kind of down the middle. It's very hard to get anywhere. You got to kind of have some sort of angle, more or less, And I'm not going to play an angle. I'm just going to play certain things up. The way I feel about the world, I'm going to apply to boxing. If that makes sense. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist, the NPCs would say. I kind of look down on certain people for having certain beliefs, beliefs in government, things like that. And we're gonna implement that in our boxing commentary sometimes. Basically, that's what we're gonna do. Heisensberg, salute, mate, salute. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a comeback fight. It is what it is. At least he's active. But I mean, what does Joseph Parker want to achieve now? Maybe a rematch with Dillian White. There's not much out there for him, really, is there? Die Hard is the best Christmas movie of all time. Facts. Taylor. I think Taylor this time around is going to go in there and make a statement. I think he realizes he took the first fight lightly, in my opinion. He made weight terribly. I don't think he'll leave any stones unturned this time around. I am still a bit worried about the weight cut in regards to Josh Taylor, but I think he'll do a better job. I also like his new trainer better than Ben Davison. If you look at Joe McNally, he tends to work with more aggressive fighters, guys like Liam Smith, for example. I think that trainer's a much better fit. And I think I like what I hear from Joe McNally in the corner. I know he's a young trainer, but I like how he goes about his business in the corner in particular. Whereas Ben Davison, every single time, for me, the Ramirez fight was the perfect example of my reservations of Ben Davison. I think Ben Davison is a good trainer for certain fighters, like outboxers. Ben Davison could do well with someone like Sonny Edwards, for example. But if you look at that Ramirez fight, you know, he basically told Josh Taylor to coast in the last 4 rounds. And yes, it never cost Josh Taylor, but it made that fight damn close at the end. It was actually quite close on the cards. He basically neutered Josh Taylor in that fight. I believe if Taylor was with McGuigan against Ramirez, more than likely he would have got a stoppage, or at least put a lot more damage on Ramirez and made it more conclusive. So yeah, I think Joe McNally is a much better fit for Josh Taylor. Yeah, big up Nordic, man. I could see it. I could see it. I think he's going to really have the bit between his teeth. I think he's going to be really motivated. I really do. Yeah, I want Josh Taylor to win, man. He lost all of that momentum that he gained in 2021. But that's boxing, though. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. And when these guys fight once a year, I don't blame anybody for being down on Josh Taylor, you know, because back in the days, these guys would fight 3 or 4 times a year, and you could afford to have a bad performance because you'd be right back. And you'd then erase that from memory by putting on a good performance. These days, though, when you're Josh Taylor, you fought once this year and it was a shit performance, that's going to be the lasting impression. So I understand why people are down on Josh Taylor, but I do think he can do a lot better. I do think he can do a lot better. Do you reckon, Nordic? I don't know. I think it might be a very different fight, Nordic. I don't know why. It's just a bit of intuition. I feel like it's going to be a different type of fight. I think there'll be that element to it again, with Catterall kind of taking a half step back, looking for the southpaw left hand, clinching when he can. But I feel there's going to be more action this time around. I feel there's going to be more action. But you know, Taylor's got it all to do. He's got it all to do. He needs to remind people, you know, and we'll see. And after this fight, man, he needs to move up, in my opinion, because he's too big. Like, one more time, right this wrong, and go to 147 and see how he looks there. I think it all depends on who the judges and the ref favor. I can't see either guy getting stopped. Taylor is very tough, and Catterall has that Bernard Hopkins style of ruining and spoiling fights. Yeah, he's very crafty. You can tell that Catterall spent a lot of time in the elite gyms in sparring. I mean, this is a guy who was chosen to spar with Floyd before the Pacquiao fight when he was unknown. He sparred with Canelo, you know. He knows all the tricks of the trade, Jack Catterall. And you can tell that in his style. That he's a great sparring partner. The frustrating thing, though, I have with Catterall, when he actually lets his shots go, he's fucking accurate and he's got more power than people realise. Like, he was buzzing Josh Taylor at times, but he never really stepped on it like he should have done. I think Taylor's already peaked for sure. If I were to bet, I would agree. I would be surprised if he gets any better from here. Maybe he can find the old level where he was fighting when he was fighting the likes of Prograis and Ramirez. Maybe he can get back to that level, but can he get any better? I'd probably say no. I'd probably say no. Yeah, Taylor is clearly shit hot on his day, and on his day top 10 pound for pound, but he was looking podgy in recent interviews. That's the thing with Josh Taylor. He's got that Ricky Hatton syndrome. He blows up too much in between fights, and that's always going to come back to bite you. I don't care. Like, I don't care who you are. That's always going to come back and bite you. Look at fighters who had great longevity. You may not like guys like Mayweather and Hopkins, but they kept themselves in shape outside the ring, as did Manny Pacquiao as well. He's another guy who went on very late because he always kept himself in shape. Carl Froch was another one. Even Golovkin to a lesser degree. You know, these guys keep themselves in relatively good shape. And that provides longevity for your career. It's not only having good defense, but it's also what you do outside the ring. Maybe. I hope so. I hope so. It would make it a good fight. Yeah, hopefully he's got a proper nutritionist. Do you think Virgil Ortiz Jr. will fulfill his potential? If you asked me this question 12, 18 months ago, I would have said yes. But I don't like the inactivity. I don't like it. Fighting Michael McKinson once, you've had one fight this year, and it was against Michael McKinson. That's not enough for a guy like Virgil Ortiz. Look at Oscar De La Hoya at his age. Look at what he was doing. And look at what Virgil is doing. Look at what Boots is doing now as well. 4 minutes of action in the whole calendar year. These guys are super talented, interesting fighters coming up, and they're fighting once a year. Not even titleists yet, not even household names. With that sort of activity, they will never get to their best. They will never reach their potential. So I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I rate him. I think he's very talented. I like watching him fight. I think the Stanionis fight, by the way, is an excellent fight. Stanionis will test him. Stanionis is one of those guys who, when you look at him, I wouldn't say he does anything outstanding, but he's well-rounded. He's got a really, really good jab, shotgun jab, can rock your head back. He tucks up really well, decent power. He's good in the exchanges. And yeah, he does the basics really well. I think that's a hard fight for Virgil Ortiz. And it's going to tell us a lot about him. Really, when you look at it, it's Virgil's first time fighting like a top 10 prime guy. I would say Stanionis is top 10 at welterweight. It's the first time Virgil has fought someone like that in their prime, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I was impressed with Stanionis against Butayev. I picked Butayev to win that fight. But, Stanionis built a really good lead, and Butayev left it too late. He left it too late. And by the way, that was a really good fight if you haven't seen it. Jack Catterall's power is underrated. Said he hits harder than Prograis. Yeah, but Jack Catterall lacks extra gears. I agree. Yeah, Catterall is the type of fighter who can figure out very early on if he can win or not. If he can't, he will run, spoil, and cheat his way to the end and ruin the entire fight for the crowd. He does have that element about him. I'd be shocked if Josh looks healthy on the scales. Yeah, especially after a year out. Catterall would always be hard for Taylor, in my opinion. Taylor is upright and has a narrow stance, so it's hard for him to get serious power on his shots unless he's moving back front, sorry, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah, but I said that, people said I was crazy when I said, when that fight got signed, everybody said it was a mismatch. Now, I picked Taylor to win, but my thing was, I always felt Catterall was really underrated going into that fight. And I said in my prediction that there's every chance that he could make Taylor look bad for a long period of time. Now, even Catterall, he exceeded my expectations in that fight, but I wasn't really surprised to see Taylor struggle so badly. I think that was one of those cases where the fans didn't really do their homework. Neither did Josh Taylor. He underestimated Catterall, and we saw what happened. Plus, there was the weight as well. Yeah. That is some Adrian Broner shit. Yeah, facts. And I know he likes to go out and get drunk and party as well. Again, that sort of shit. It's all right for us mortals, but like when you're a prize fighter or like a professional athlete, I mean, compare like a professional boxer in the off season when he doesn't have a fight. Compare that to most pro athletes. They couldn't be seen like getting slaughtered, like blackout drunk every other weekend and eating like absolute shit, even if it was like the off season. Like let's say Erling Haaland for Man City, when the season ends, a few weeks into like before pre-season, he gets fat as fuck. That would never be acceptable. He'd get fined by his club. Yeah, Taylor's a big boy. He's a big fucking boy. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he looks in the rematch. Yeah, I hope you're wrong, Nordic. I hope you're wrong because he's a very talented kid with a really good style. So yeah, Tyrone McKenna said that Catterall hits harder than Prograis. I mean, I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't. I find it a little hard to believe, but at the same time, I can see maybe where he's coming from. Prograis actually opens up a lot more, so he's more likely to get stoppages, whereas Catterall is a lot more economical with his work, so he's not throwing as many punches to get stoppages, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, when I see Catterall fight, it always looks like his punches have like some sort of mustard on them. Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest. It plagues so many fighters. So many fighters. A lot of these guys are spoilt though. Heisensberg. A lot of these guys are getting paid too much money too early when they've done shit. And many of the times they're not even generating the revenue to actually to justify these purses, you know? I always go back to Andrade, but like Andrade was getting paid nearly $1 million to fight the likes of Jason Quigley. Do you think that show generated enough to pay him that? Do you think he was worth that? Absolutely not. So if you're Andrade, I criticize Andrade a lot. But if I'm Andrade and I just got paid nearly $1 million to fight Jason Quigley, why the fuck would I fight Janabek for 1.2 million when I can fight a bum for that much money? Do you know what I'm saying? These inflated purses just destroy a fighter's ambition. I watched that fight, but I don't really remember it. I know McKenna went down a few times. That's really all I remember. Yeah, the fact that Boots Ennis is fighting Karen Chakadzian on a pay-per-view is laughable. I follow boxing all around the world every weekend, and I've never heard of this Russian farcical. Yeah, I've never heard of him either. I mean, Boots Ennis beating up a Karen on pay-per-view. Boots Ennis needs some rounds, so hopefully the guy's tough. Hopefully the guy's tough. True. That's true, Vector 04. You can say that basically about every other fighter that's coming up. It's been and it's been like that for a while. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. Like, where's MJ Akhmadaliev? Still, where's he been at? I know he's got a fight coming up soon. I think it's Marlon Tapales, but yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised by that, Colin. Like, I think if Catterall fought with confidence, he'd actually iron a lot more guys out if he wasn't so cagey. I've erased that fight from my memory. I've erased that fight from my memory. If Virgil loses, he'll just get called a hype job. But in reality, it's just that Stanionis is legit. Yeah. Well, Stanionis proved he's at a good level when he beat Butayev. Butayev is no slouch. I picked Butayev to win that fight as well. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about this fucking fight, by the way. How do I think Taylor would do at 147? Honestly, again, I would want to see him in like a welcome fight to 147 against like a fringe level guy. See how he looks, see how he carries the weight, that sort of thing. I would need to see something first, but hypothetically right now, do I think he'd beat Crawford? No. Spence is hard to say because Spence is doing what Spence does, getting involved in God knows what. I think the best matchup for Taylor would be Spence, but if Spence is at his best, I think he beats Taylor. I think Spence does what Taylor does. I mean, they're actually real similar fighters to a certain extent. If you actually look at their styles closely, they are really similar. But I think Spence does it a little bit better. I think Spence is a bit tighter, to be honest, and bigger. I think Liam Smith is live. He's competitive, but I think Eubank wins. I think Eubank wins. I hope you're wrong, Nordic. I hope Smith comes to fight. Too big, too strong for Liam Smith. The problem with Liam Smith in a lot of fights as well, he takes a while to get going. He's like a diesel engine, an old diesel engine. Who is the most talented boxer right now from the UK? Do you mean as in like world champions or up and comers? What do you mean? In regards to champions, it's hard to say. Like, there's nobody right now really in the UK who like gets me to say, "Wow." Maybe I don't know. I can't answer the question. I like Peter McGrail, who's coming up, the Scouser. He looks pretty good. We were always told 5% maximum weight gain in our boxing gym, and they usually said the extra day means that you can be 10% 16 weeks out, 220 for a cruiser. That makes sense, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't think he's quite the fighter he was a few years ago, Liam Smith. But again, he put a pasting on. He fucking beat up Anthony Fowler, so I'll be grateful for that. Fury is talented. I can't lie. Tyson Fury is talented. I don't think he's athletically as good as he was back in the day, like in 2014, 2015, like in regards to his foot speed, his reaction time, anything like that. But he is very versatile as a heavyweight, and for a man of his size, he is impressive. I can't lie. He is impressive. He is impressive. There's no doubt. Like, there are world champions who are not world class, in my opinion, but Tyson Fury is a world class heavyweight. I think he would have coped in any era. I'm not saying he'd have beaten everybody, but he would have done well in any era. I know he doesn't have the legacy to prove it. I get that, but we're talking head to head. You know? Yeah, Warrington fought like a fucking moron. He's trying to box a bit too much, in my opinion, Josh Warrington. But having said that, I said he should do that against Lopez. I said that he shouldn't get involved in the exchanges. I'm not sure. I think the Lara fight really dented his confidence, to be honest. I think it really dented his confidence. But there's an easy route back for Warrington. He can fight Lee Wood. I think he beats Lee Wood. I really do. See, Lee Wood is the perfect example. He's just been elevated, I believe, to a full champion, WBA champion. Lee Wood's a good fighter, but I don't think he's truly world class. I don't care whether he's holding a world title. I don't think he's truly world class. I think Warrington is on his day, and I think he beats Lee Wood. That's what I would do if I was Matchroom. I would try and get that fight made in Nottingham or Leeds. It's going to do a big crowd. Get it done. Yeah, paying Kevin Farmer absolute bag to be just about top 10 at best. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I saw a recent picture. Yeah, I saw a recent picture a few days ago. Fat mess. You're right. You're right. And again, it's a shame because he's a talented fighter. Talented fighter, but he never really built on the Danny Roman fight, in my opinion. He's been too inactive. In an ideal world, he should have took that rematch right away. He should have rematched Danny Roman and went from there. Been super active. I was, as you guys know, if you followed this channel long enough, I was super high on Akhmed Aliev before he won a world title. But there you go. There you go. What's up, Valley? How you doing? Wouldn't be shocked. I don't think he needs to, though, Colin, to be honest. I think Parker's too big, too strong. Oh, Albanian boxers got Stanionis beating Ortiz. Taylor versus Kelly. Do you mean Josh Kelly, Nordic? Do you mean Josh Kelly? Oh yeah, fuck that fight. Taylor. See, he's another guy, Michael McKinson. Oh, he's a really skilled boxer. The guy. Listen, the guy's got hands of foam. He's a feather duster, man. Or fucking awful to watch. Awful to watch. Christ, it looks like he's having an epileptic fit when he fights. I get he's awkward. I get he can mess you around, but I just don't like watching that guy fight. I'll be real. I don't like watching him fight. I don't mind. Listen. I can tolerate boxers, but that guy's just so fucking boring, man. So boring. Oh, it's the sweet giant. Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. Big up to Cannon, wrapping the Christmas presents. I haven't done that yet, bro. I still need to do it. Paddy Pimblett's a fucking scrub. That guy's such a hype job, man. I fucking can't stand him either. Cannot stand him. Hey, look, lad. Fucking prick he is. Such a prick. Such a prick. He lost that last fight as well, by the way. Paddy the spastic. Fuck that guy. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Have you seen Povetkin's misses? Jesus Christ. Josh Warrington, it's time for him to get a forklift application. He's done. He was the bigger man versus Lopez and mostly shelled up until his fouls took their toll. That's basically the fight that I saw. To be honest with you. Yeah. He's another guy though. I don't really enjoy watching him fight, Josh Kelly. Like I tried to watch that Troy Williamson fight. First round, yeah, Kelly looked good. He actually somewhat buzzed Troy Williamson. But after that, I think I got to round 5 and I just turned it off. Couldn't be asked with it. Could not be asked with it. Florian Marku moved down to super lightweight. I'm surprised. Can he make the weight? He's not tall, but he's a fucking bulky guy. Fair play. I think that could be better for him if he can make the weight okay because of his size. I'll do it on Christmas Eve, Nordic. I'll do mine on Christmas Eve, like 10 o'clock at night. That's my plan. Yeah, Povetkin's woman is fine. Povetkin, wife. I'll get a picture of her. She is pretty banging. Povetkin gives us hope. Povetkin gives us hope. Good looking woman. You know what I'm saying? Can't argue with Povetkin's choice of female. Okay, let's add this shit. Povetkin. Yevgenia Povetkin is her name. Good looking woman, as far as I'm concerned. Good looking woman. There you go. It's not a great picture, but you can Google her. I'd still rather watch McKinson fights, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I've heard about the police versus Opatea. Is he in trouble? I heard something like that he's in trouble in Australia. I got fucking off to get a bottle of rum. Be right back. I'm on the Corona right now. Not for COVID. I'm on Corona. I wouldn't mind an Albanian woman. I've seen a few. They are. Listen, there's decent looking women everywhere though. Some countries have a better ratio of better looking women, but you know, there are some good looking women everywhere. Not seeing his wife, not seeing Tishchenko's wife. Here, most women find me either intimidating or disgusting. Well, intimidating could be a good thing. It depends on what she's into. Christ. Be right back. See you later. Tishchenko's wife should have left him after the Machunu fight. Yeah, I was so disappointed in Tishchenko, but Machunu performed really well. They've always been that, though. They've always been that. Like, I never used to get why people would fanboy over Vladimir in particular. Like, I understand Vitaly because his style was fun, in my opinion, but like Vladimir, from a boxing standpoint, in my opinion, wasn't great to watch. But Vladimir in particular, his energy, to me, always came across just super creepy. Super creepy. I wouldn't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Tishchenko, are we going to have to look at this as well? Tishchenko, wife. Can't even spell this cunt's name. What's his first name? Alexander. Tishchenko. Try and find this guy's wife. Evgeny, innit? It's Evgeny. How degenerate is this? Looking up like random, obscure Russian boxers' wives. This is what we're here for, though. This is what we live for. I can't find a picture of her. I cannot find a picture of her. That's disappointing. Oh, no worries. No, I wondered what you meant, but I heard that he was in trouble with police, though, in all seriousness. Opataya. Maybe that's bullshit. But yeah, Okoye, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Favorite all-time boxer? So currently, like active fighters right now, it's Artur Beterbiev. All-time James Toney. Wouldn't be shocked behind the ropes. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, Vladimir did fumble the bag with Hayden Pantier. Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, horny posting facts. Horny posting. Need to get that meme up. Horny police meme. Oh, shit. You know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. You got to do what you got to do. Right, fuck. Let's get rid of this cunt. Get rid of that. I miss the days of fucking Google. What was it? What was that fucking Hangouts? I miss the days of Google Hangouts. I fucking still don't like StreamYard. Yeah, it came out shit. Fuck that. Whatever is what it is. Let's get back on Beterbiev. Legend says that Conor Benn is eating 800 eggs an hour. Well, listen. Maybe. He's ovulating, right? That's what he's doing right now. Same height. I just don't give a fuck about Conor Benn. Like, honestly, if he's going to come back. He's going to get a slap on the wrist. It is what it is. If he comes back and takes fights I'm interested in, I'll still watch them. It's that simple, you know. I just enjoyed the chaos it caused at the time. You know, Eddie Hearn basically in you know, getting spun, looking stressed, Matchroom like paid for channels in disarray. I loved it. I loved it. You know. It's great to see. Honestly, boxing Twitter that week was so fucking funny. That was arguably the best week in boxing Twitter this year. Was Conor Benn, but the fallout to Conor Benn testing positive. It was so funny. Easily. Facts. I agree. I agree. Mike McCallum. Hang on. Mike McCallum. Oh, you mean Mike McCallum versus Marvin Hagler, yeah? Mike McCallum, controversial opinion. Mike McCallum on points. Mike McCallum, arguably the most underrated fighter from that era, like the 80s. 80s, 90s kind of thing. He was one of the most underrated. I mean, look at how he handled himself way past his prime against Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr., a prime Roy Jones, who many say is the king of the head-to-head, like in fantasy fights. Well, a near 40-year-old Mike McCallum gave that guy a competitive fight. Mike McCallum is, to this day, is tremendously underrated. Tremendously underrated. I'm assuming it's because he's not American. If Mike McCallum was American, he'd be heralded as something like complete. He'd be held in much higher regard than he is. Maybe Nordic, maybe, but I enjoyed it. I'm the opposite, but I fucking enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing that guy squirm. Honestly. Honestly, I felt Tony won the first fight. I've seen the second fight, but I don't remember. Or honestly, I don't really remember. What's up, BG? Happy Christmas, bro. McCallum schools Hagler. I think he beats him, bro. I think he beats him. But yeah, McCallum was underrated. Boots Ennis. I think Boots Ennis punches holes through Conor Benn. How good Boots is, I'm not sure, but I can at least see why there's some hype there. I mean, the guy's huge at welterweight. He does have athletic ability. He clearly hits hard. I think he's got more natural talent than Conor Benn. Plus, he's a lot bigger. Plus, he hits a lot harder, in my opinion. I think Boots beats Benn. Boots stamps on Benn. Facts. That would be a great fight, prime for prime. Nobody's getting knocked out. I'll tell you that much. Nobody's getting knocked out. Big up to Lucas. Yes, Dell, listen to you all the time. If you're ever in Manchester, I'll buy you a drink. Well, big up to yourself, Lucas. Big up to yourself. Not at cruiserweight, he couldn't, Albanian boxer. He'd be at cruiserweight, he couldn't. Genius. That's true. How is that not his entrance song? Yeah, these boots are made for walking. But how is that not his entrance song? I don't understand. It's like Lewis Ritson when what was his nickname? The Sandman. Why was his why was his music not Metallica? Sandman. Enter Sandman. Why? Crazy. That's a great marketing gimmick. See, Nordic should be a marketer, a boxing marketer for these fighters. But I understand the hesitation surrounding Boots, and like you never know, yeah, because he's not been tested. I get it, but I just like I think he comes across okay. I like how he always like says he's going to church on Twitter and shit. I know it sounds really silly, but I think a lot of fighters, a lot of athletes are kind of scared to say that. I know that sounds really silly, but I kind of like that. So I got to. But maybe he'll stop that if he gets to a certain level, you know? Maybe he'll stop that if he gets to a certain level. Maybe he'll be told to. I don't know. Lopez. To me, it was clear Lopez. Warrington closed that fight well, but I felt he was way far behind after like 9 rounds. I felt he was well down on the cards. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. Maybe they'll save that song for a title. Yeah. Well, apparently I heard that he's going to fight the Brazilian guy, Falcao. Falcao's all right. He's not bad, but he's not exactly someone to get you excited either. Facts, Nordic, facts. I wouldn't go that far, Roy. Thank you, but there are history-wise, not so much. I know more than like the casual fan in regards to history, but I know my shit. But there's other people out there who are a lot more knowledgeable. A lot more knowledgeable. Biggest robbery in boxing of all time? In terms of like the big fights in recent years, Pacquiao versus Bradley was one, the first Bradley fight. Golovkin Canelo won. They're the 2 big fights that really stick out in recent years. Ryan destroyed Tank on Twitter. You can't conjure a sentence. Yeah, that's all well and good, but those guys need to fight. They need to fight. They need to fight. Stop fucking sparring on Twitter. Let's get it. I never watched it, Heisensberg. I mean, I've not really got a problem with retired boxers having exhibitions. I don't really care about it, to be honest. But I'm not interested either. Never saw it. Never saw it. I didn't even know it happened until the day after. I never even knew he was fighting an exhibition. You'd be surprised how many athletes attend church in their private lives and attribute their commitment to their spirituality. Yeah. I saw your other comment, Nordic. I wouldn't be shocked, Albanian boxer. WBC are going to be the first to do it. Yeah, boxers really miss the term. Yeah, they really miss the mark in terms of marketing at times. How Mario Barrios didn't make his nickname Super is beyond me. Yeah, exactly. It's dumb shit like that. Yeah. Good fight. Franco's really well-rounded. But Ioka's a different level. I think Ioka wide on points. Ioka wide on points. But Franco will take care of himself. I'd be surprised if he gets stopped. Yeah, Bellew's a clown, BNK. Bellew's a fucking knobhead. Khan's entrance song is on the floor. Oh, Christ. Harry Greb would chin Golovkin in 10 seconds. Facts. He would. Of course he would. Of course he would. You know? There's no doubt about it. Harry Greb. Yeah, of course he would. Vasquez versus Ritson. That was bad. And Vasquez versus O'Hara Davis. That was another one. But the Ritson one was even worse. Facts, he was. He was indeed. Valero was a bad boy. Tank would have Greb reeling in a round. He probably would, bro. He probably would, in all seriousness. A lot of old school historians can't really... Listen, I'm not arguing the guy's greatness for his time. I'll take their word for it. But in terms of like the guy's actual skills translated to now, he wouldn't get anywhere. I've seen that guy's training footage, man. And I swear to God, I feel like I've got a chance against that dude. Yeah, Valero was crazy. I remember when the 140 prospect, Andy Hiralka, walked out to an R. Kelly song on the Inoue the Daenerys undercard. I was in tears of laughter. Yeah, he must have not got the memo. I can imagine though. I guess that sort of shit's not really covered over there, so maybe he wasn't aware. You'd hope so, at least, right? Yeah, he's the GOAT, even though there's no footage of him. He could be a figment of somebody's imagination, like some crazy historian, like some crazy, like, random guy back in the day. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. I think Yard, for all of his flaws, will actually come to fight. I think he'll come to fight. I mean, he came to fight against Kovalev. I think he'll come to fight, but I just think he'll get overwhelmed there. It could be fun though. It could be fun. If Furman versus Spence happens in August and Crawford decides to fight around the same time, who would you pick for his opponent? I would say Josh Taylor in the UK. That'd be good for Terence Crawford if he could get a Josh Taylor fight, especially in the UK. It would do okay. I think it would do okay in the UK. But more than likely, he'd fight someone like fucking, I don't know, some C-level guy, more than likely. I'm trying not to think about that fight. I genuinely thought that fight could happen this year when Crawford kind of left Top Rank. He had no promoter. I kind of thought it would get to a scenario where he basically had to take what he was offered. I thought that's what would happen, but no, Crawford seems to have turned it down. I don't know. I don't really know what's happened there. I cannot be bothered to look into it, to be honest. Facts. Greb versus Fulton would be good, bruv. Yeah, Bruce Lee would beat Tyson and Ali at the same time and would never lose a fight. You'd be surprised by how many people on YouTube believe that. I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't. Genuinely wouldn't. Like, there's people out there who believe that Bruce Lee, if you take Bruce Lee from back then and put him in the UFC now, that he'd dominate. He wouldn't. He wouldn't even make the UFC. That's not discounting his influence. That's a different conversation. Exactly, exactly intangible. There's so many differences compared to then and now. As you said, the rules of boxing for a start, then the implementation of obviously sports science, both legal and illegal, and all this shit. There's so much. Yeah, I agree. Modern techniques and greater understanding, etc., etc. I don't think it's either or. I think it's just really a symptom of where the sport is at, more so than actually being. I think it's a symptom of where the sport's at, how these guys can invade boxing and do their thing without any real pushback. That goes to show where the sport is, in my opinion. Yeah, I hope you're right, TJ. I hope you're right. I want to see Taylor get back on the wagon. I think he's always got a puncher's chance, Yard, but honestly, I think Beterbiev takes care of him mid rounds. Yeah, I know, it's insane. It's a great fight. Yeah, something cool. It's a great fight. Ortiz and Stanionis. Who do you predict gets their jab working effectively first? I think one thing. Stanionis has a great jab, as we know. I think Ortiz's jab is more consistent. He throws more jabs, I would say, but I think they might go tit for tat, for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then maybe Ortiz takes over. That's what I would say. What do you mean in the Tim Tszyu fight? I think that fight's going to go one way. I think it's going to be very competitive for as long as it lasts, because Tim Tszyu a good straight puncher, which I think Charlo might struggle with, and then Charlo knocks him out. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlo's down on the cards when he does it, but I think it will be a very competitive fight until Charlo knocks him out. It's a good fight, though. I actually really like that fight. That's a good fight. All girls out here are pretty easy to get behind the ropes. I wouldn't say all. That's fake news, but a lot of girls are easy to get out here. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, definitely. He's an inspiration. There's no doubt about it, and he paved the way to a certain degree. But yeah, I'd agree. I don't think if you took him in the time machine and you bring him to now, he wouldn't do well. Yeah, there's that all Heisensberg. That also happens to fighters whose career got cut short early as well. It happens to those sort of fighters as well. Guys like Valero, Dmitry Pirog, Ike Abuche. It happens to those sort of guys as well. I think all of those guys I mentioned were really good fighters, and they could have done something great, but ultimately we'll never know. Who do you reckon's got a better shot at winning, Tim Tszyu or Anthony Yarde? I would say Tim Tszyu. But I predict both to lose. Indeed, yeah. People shit on the UFC too much. It's mainly boxing fans as well. Let's be real. Exactly, Nordic, yeah. Exactly. I would say Yarde has got a good puncher's chance, at least. Tszyu, though, I give him no chance. Yeah, I'm the opposite. No, well, I think both guys have a chance to a certain degree, but I'd say Tszyu has more of a chance. He does, yeah. The only thing with Stanionis, I think he's a little bit too mechanical at times. That's the only thing. And yeah, the Delorme fight, he wasn't impressive. He really wasn't. Isn't it mental how different Jamel and Jamal are, apart from a mentality point of view? Jamel is a top 1% elite of e-sport as far as taking on all comers, and Jamal is everything that is wrong with the sport. Yeah, that's true. I think it's because naturally, though, Jamal always had more hype, whereas his brother, technically his little brother, it's that little brother syndrome, I think, more than anything. His Jamal's his older brother, he had more hype. And in a sense, Jamel always had more to prove because of that. That's what I would say it's down to, personally. That little brother syndrome. That's a real thing. That's a very real thing. I agree. That's a very good take. Yeah, Charlo's very good skill-wise, but poor tactically. He could beat anyone and lose to anyone simultaneously. Yeah, the Tony Harrison fight was the perfect example. The first fight, how such a dumb fight he fought. He fought such a dumb fight. But you're right. I agree. Nordic. Unless you got a boatload of money. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, Albanian boxer, if like something came out about all those guys you mentioned. I wouldn't be shocked. Why are the odds so close for the Eubank Smith fight? Smith is a 154 pounder. Think Eubank should be a heavier favourite. What are the odds? I might have a little flutter. That could be a free money exercise. That could money printing exercise. Do we put all our life savings on Eubank? Where's boxing? Where's boxing on Paddy Power? I swear to God, Paddy Power is some fucking shit website, man. Fucking shocking website. I don't really bet much anymore, but they go Eubank versus Smith. Oh yeah, Eubank's 1-2. 1-2. Which Charlo are you on about, Heisensberg? Jamel is a big light welterweight. Sorry, super welterweight. But I think he's got ability to a certain degree. Having said that, though, there's a lot of big guys in that weight class. Look at Sebastian Fundora, for example. That's another fight I want to see. If he beats Tim Tszyu, I want to see him fight Fundora. Who would you give trainer of the year to a British trainer and fighter of the year? To your opinion, of course. Who is the British trainer of the year? That's a very good question. Maybe Grant Smith? Maybe. British fighter of the year? Again, it's so hard to say because like these guys fight once a year. I don't really know, to tell you the truth, in regards to Fighter of the Year. I don't really know. That's still a decent fight, but Derevyanchenko is well past it. Yeah, you might be right, XMB. You might be right in regards to that. Yeah, there was definitely more hype for Jamal coming up, no doubt. That's decent. Yeah, 2-1 for Eubank. Yeah, that's decent odds, considering we all know. I think we all know how that fight's going to do. How that fight's going to go. Sorry. I agree. I agree. Intangible. I agree. I expect Arthur to dominate, but I'm not sleeping on Yard. He's nearly 200 pounds on fight night, and has a punch and has nothing to lose. Yeah, plus he's got speed as well. Good reaction time. I think Anthony Yard's one of those guys. He's got a lot of raw ability, and I think he would have been a lot further ahead if he was with a real trainer. I'm not saying he would have been a world champion or anything like that, but you can clearly see there's a level of raw talent with Anthony Yard. The guy picked up boxing late, and to be as good as he is pretty impressive. And that's mainly down to his physicality and his physical attributes. If he had a better boxing, like a better trainer, I think Yard would have been. I think he would have been a level above where he is now, at least. Again, that's not to say I think he would have been a world champion or anything like that, considering how strong light heavyweight is. But I think he should be further ahead than he is. Yeah, I agree, Nordic. I wouldn't touch Smith with a barge pole in that fight. Thoughts on the Steve Robinson win? I mean, it looked like a white-collar fight, BG London. It looked like a white-collar fight. I did see it, but I wasn't impressed with either guy. Steve Robinson, I mean, that guy looks like he belongs on fucking like a Towie cast, you know? That guy sucks. If I was like Fraser Clark, I'd be looking at that guy. He's got a snazzy record. He's 5 or 6-1. He's somewhat known. It's an easy fight. It's a guy with a winning record. If I was like Fraser Clark, I'd take that fight and take him out. I think fans would accept that fight. I think he sucks, honestly, mate. Steve Robinson, I think he's bad. I think Dave Allen would beat him. Yeah, that's true. Fury. I mean, but he's always erratic, man. Maybe he's just a raging cokehead all the time. I don't know. Winky right. I disagree, bro. I think I thought you meant Lyndon Arthur. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking that, but I agree. Arthur is levels above Yard. I agree. But you know, Yard. The only thing with Yard is when you can punch, when you have speed, you've always got a chance. And I think that'll be a real fight as well. I make you right, Camille. Albanian boxer. I think I would favour Kamil Sakalowski to beat Steve Robinson. Thoughts on Bivol versus Beterbiev? It's one of the best fights in boxing, in my opinion. Arguably the most interesting style clash in boxing right now. It's, again, historically, I've always said Beterbiev by late stoppage. I think he'd grind down Bivol, but the longer we wait, the more chance Bivol has. Beterbiev's 37? So that fight to me is now getting hard to predict. We'll see how Beterbiev looks against Yard. It's a good fight, though, isn't it? It's a great fight. How do you think the light heavyweights of the 70s and 80s would do against their modern counterparts? I think they'd be competitive. I think the 70s and 80s isn't too far back to where the technique is terrible, to be honest. I think they'll do okay. Yeah, Beterbiev has been dropped twice by Jeff Page Jr. and Callum Johnson. The Jeff Page Jr. knockdown was purely a slip, to be honest. It was what it was. But he was hurt against Callum Johnson. But Callum can crack, and he got through it, and he stopped him basically almost straight away after. How do you see Frank Martin against the 135-pounders around his level, e.g. Keyshawn, Adam Azim? Adam Azim's 140, I believe. Keyshawn is too hard. Again, Martin's a lot further ahead in his career. It's too hard to say for me. But honestly, I'd like to see Frank Martin against like better level competition. He's just beaten Rivera, who was unbeaten. I mean, who would I want to see? I would have said someone like Richard Comey, but Comey's got a fight coming up, I believe, against Teofimo. But I think Frank Martin's decent. That's a good fight. That fight would generate interest. Florian Marku versus Adam Azim. Yeah, that would draw interest. I think Adam Azim might be too fast for Marku, to be honest. I think he'd get to that target first and probably knock Marku out. It's a good fight. Adam Azim, to me, I see the star power. I see a potential star there. He's got an entertaining style. He's got power. He's got speed. He's got athleticism. All of those attributes he has in abundance. But the technique, we've not really seen it tested. And he does leave a few openings, chin in the air, hands down sometimes. Sometimes he'll leave like the pocket in a straight line with his chin up. There are certain things I see from Adam Azim that need to be tidied up on. But he's very early in his career. Listen, he's certainly a guy who's worth looking out for. He's certainly a guy who's worth looking out for. I think a lot of old heads tend to value head-to-head matches between old and new fighters too much. Fighters naturally are just bigger and faster now than they were then, yeah. And a lot of these guys can't grasp. So let's say, for example, and I do believe this, like Tyson Fury would destroy Joe Louis. I believe that to be true in a head-to-head. That's not me saying, though, that Tyson Fury is greater than Joe Louis. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive, in my opinion. One guy can have a greater legacy, but in a head-to-head, the other guy could win. That's where a lot of these old heads get confused, which is why I never understand why they get so butthurt when someone says a modern fighter would beat a previous all-time great. It doesn't mean they're going to have a better legacy when they retire. They are two different topics. I would never say Tyson Fury is greater than someone like Ali or Joe Louis, but I think he beats them in the head-to-head. There's a big difference, but a lot of these guys can't grasp that for whatever reason. And I don't even like Tyson Fury, as you guys know. But yeah, I'm interested in Azim. I am interested. Yeah, it could be the best fight in boxing, quite frankly. But honestly, this is my prediction. We'll never see it. I think it's going to be Stevenson Kovalev 2.0. Honestly, I'm gonna sound like a fanboy. I think Beterbiev would have beaten them all. Kovalev, Ward, and Stevenson. Cruz, that's a great fight, Zion. That's a great fight. That's the sort of fight I'm talking about. Great fight. Isaac Cruz versus Martin. Great fight. Exactly, yeah. I think Tyson would be live early on in the first four, but if he's not damaged, Tyson Fury, he loses, in my opinion. I think he loses. If he's not put on some serious damage on Fury early on, I think he loses. I'd say Fury still. Yeah, there's a big difference between legacy and head-to-head. Yeah, exactly, Christian, exactly. That is true. Yeah, that is true. They tend to take their craft more seriously. What's up, Superman? Just chilling with family, and on New Year's getting fucking hammered with my friends. Basically, that's basically it. I'm gonna have a simple one this year. Maybe, but he has to do that early on, Christian. In my opinion, I think he would have to get there early on and do some damage to that body early on. If he doesn't do that, I think he'll start to flag and he'll get picked off. And even if he gets close, then he's got to contend with Tyson Fury leaning, holding, mauling, cheating basically. David Price, bruv. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying. That's sacrilege to a lot of people, but I live in reality. A 5'6" guy who's 180 can't beat David Price from come on. Oh, is it gone? That would have been a good fight. Vianello sucks, by the way. I say good fight. It's a good fight for Stephen Shaw to capture on to take Vianello's O and build his profile. That's a shame, though. That's a shame, yeah. But I would like to see Anderson versus Shaw as well. That's a good fight. Fat Max Jenkins. That's a good question. Did Majidov fight in 2022? I don't even remember him fighting. I know he fought at the end of last year. Do you mean Madrimov? Sorry. Do you mean Madrimov, BG London, or do you mean the heavyweight Majidov? Mahammadrazul Majidov. Again, you got to go Tyson Fury just for size. He's too big. He's too big. Far too big, in my opinion. Although, I just don't see he can't box Tyson from the outside. And the question is, can he neutralize Fury on the inside? Can he get his work off on the inside without being leaned on? I don't think so, personally. I don't think he'd get knocked out, by the way. I don't think Tyson Fury would knock out Evander. I think Evander's far too crafty and tough, despite the size difference. I'm hoping he does lose to fucking Usyk. I'm hoping he does. I'd love to see it. Nothing would make me more fucking happy in 2023 if Alexander Usyk beats Tyson Fury. Nothing would make me happier. If I could fix the result of one fight, that'd be it. If I had a chance to determine the outcome of any one fight, that would be it. So I want to see the meltdown from Tyson Fury fans. I've seen it from AJ fans. I've seen it from Wilder fans. I want to see it from Fury fans now. I want to see that meltdown. I agree, Roy. I totally agree. I believe, as you said, if Anthony Yard had a world-class trainer, that raw talent would be more enhanced. I think he's gone as far as he can with that current trainer and will be exposed. Basically how I see it, bro. Basically how I see it. I agree. What are the thoughts on Wilder Joshua? I get the feeling that this is a pro-British audience, and I'm in the States, so I have my bias as well. I've got Wilder. I think that fight. I just feel, yeah, both guys can get knocked out. Both guys are vulnerable. Both guys can knock each other out. I think that's fair to say. I just have more faith in Wilder pulling the trigger first. That's what I'm saying. And even if Wilder gets knocked down in that fight, I've got more faith in him getting back up and laying out Joshua. I think that fight's going to play on both guys' anxiety. Both guys know they can damage each other. Both guys know it's not going the distance. And I just have a bit more faith in Wilder to get the job done. I think AJ's a better boxer. I think he's far better than Wilder in terms of technique. But I think Wilder's more of a natural fighter at heart. And I think that's what he needs in that fight. I think that could be the difference. But listen, Joshua could very easily starch Wilder as well. Let's not get that twisted. I think it's like a 55-45 fight in favor of Wilder. I don't watch TV shows in all seriousness, Superman. That's YouTube for you, bro. I get you. Facts, I agree. Yeah, I know, right? Mike Tyson fanboys are the worst. They are the worst. But I like Mike. I like watching old Mike fights back. Basically, Nordic. Yeah, basically, you're right. Yeah, Fury fans will lose the plot if he loses. As will he. Yeah, that's another thing you have to consider. Does Tyson Fury go completely off the rails if he loses? I mean, he couldn't. I mean, arguably, he couldn't handle the pressure after he beat Klitschko. We saw what happened there. Now, Prime Lennox Lewis is a different question, in my opinion. I think he would do much better in this era. I think Prime Lennox Lewis would beat this Fury right now. I think he knocks him out. The Fury who fought Wilder, I mean, and Dillian White, that Fury. The Fury who fought Vladimir, I think would be a much harder style matchup for Lennox Lewis. But this Fury, the more flat-footed Fury, I think Lennox gets him out of there. Personally. Yeah, the Fury fans' meltdown will be bad. Their bubble has been inflated so much that other rival fan bases have crashed and burned. Yeah, exactly. Nobody can really tell them anything right now. Facts. I'm here for it as well. I'm here for it as well, BG. I agree. I think Wilder. Listen. We can have question marks about Wilder's competition. I have like questions about that as well. His matchmaking, etc. Joshua's fought better competition. I think he's shown a better desire to fight elite competition. However, if you put both of those guys in a time of crisis, I believe Wilder is more likely to deal with it, or at least attempt to deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? I think he's more willing to go out on his shield like that. Personally, that's what I saw in the Fury fights. I saw that in the Fury fights, the second and third fight. I saw that desire from Wilder that I haven't seen from Joshua in a long time, since the Klitschko fight. Like, say what you want about Wilder. It sounds like I'm praising Wilder. It's crazy. But say what you want about Wilder. I don't think he'd ever go out. Sorry. I don't think he'd ever go out the way AJ did against Ruiz. I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. I think you actually have to starch that guy. Well, thank you, Christian. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, why not, Roy? Right? Why not? I mean, I think Frank's got decent fundamentals, well-sized, lightweight. In also, he probably needs a couple more fights. Maybe an Isaac Cruz, like somebody was saying earlier, is perfect for him. But I think he's decent. I think AJ knocks Wilder out early in a real fight. I'm not sure, bro. I've got a feeling Wilder. I just got a feeling Wilder's going to pull the trigger first. I think if both guys land significantly early on, either guy's going, or at least getting dropped. I just got more faith in Wilder pulling the trigger first. That's really it. Size don't matter if she's already stretched. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of meltdowns, cuz. I've got a feeling, bro. I don't think we'll see that fight though. See again, that is actually the perfect loser leaves town fight. Someone's going to get brutally knocked out, in my opinion. I don't think anybody's getting stopped on their feet in that fight. I don't think it goes for distance. Somebody is getting knocked out, properly knocked out, and that's the ultimate losers leave town fight. Because where's the loser really going to go? Where's the loser really going to go? Yeah, they could continue their careers, but they'll never have that same luster they once had. And the winner of that fight's in a real good position. That's a great fight. See, again, if boxing had any sense, that fight would happen next. I'm all for that. I'd pay for that fucking fight. I don't pay for much. Yeah, Andy Ruiz for champion. I think AJ destroys him, and I'm not even an AJ fan. See, I prefer AJ to Wilder, personally, but I think Wilder beats him. No, I've not boxed properly. I've sparred a lot. I've been in the gyms throughout my years, and there was a time when I was training to go amateur, and I had a fight booked. Basically, what happened was I was 17, nearly 18. Had a fight booked. I was going to fight this guy in Luton. The guy pulled out last minute. There was no replacement. After that, I couldn't get a fight for a long time. And then I changed job. My circumstances changed and I couldn't train as much. And basically, I kind of just fell out with boxing, you know. And if I could go back, I wouldn't. I would take boxing. I would find a way to keep boxing like I was. But, you know, you can't live with regret. It is what it is. Just, you know, stuff got in the way. Yeah, there's that as well, Nordic. There is that as well. I'm not going to lie, the UK losing all of its heavyweight champions will be bad for British boxing. Fury losing after AJ crashing and burning won't leave us with any elite heavyweight guys. Yeah, I know, but I just think Usyk, for what Usyk's done in boxing, I just think it would be a fairy tale for him to win the heavyweight titles and then just retire. I just think it would be so fitting for a guy to achieve that who's pursued boxing in a correct manner. He's always looked for the best fights, the toughest challenges. I just think it'll be fitting for Usyk to win, personally. I have a policy on it. Praising Wilder more than a few times is a bannable offence. I'd take Vitali over those guys as well. Prime Vitali. I'd take Vitali. Yeah, I'd take Vitali. I get that. I do get that, Nordic, and I do agree to a certain extent. I get that. But honestly, I think Wilder AJ could be one of those fights where genuinely the first guy to land a forceful blow could win. I think it's one of those rare fights. I really do. Well, Fulton said a few weeks ago that he's going to move up. That's what I heard, and rematch. What's his name? Brandon Figueroa. Yeah, I disagreed with those guys on Twitter who said Paul Butler's put in such a great effort. I thought he was there to survive. Pretty bad for an undisputed fight, right? Fighting to basically survive and not win undisputed. Depends. It depends, Superman. Let's say, for example, let's say Wilder versus AJ was announced tomorrow. Then I would say no, because AJ's a harder fight. It depends on what he does next. If he fights someone worse than Ruiz, then I'll say yeah, but we'll see. See, that's another good fight, though. That's another good fight, is Wilder versus Ruiz. UK boxing sucks, in my opinion. There are just some big-name heavyweights and a bunch of waste of talents. Yeah, I agree. I agree for the most part. Facts. Let's do it. Let's release Ike Ibuche and get him in there with like Lucas Brown. I need a piss quickly, guys. Bear with. Right, where we at? Yeah, Fury can go on benders after winning. I don't think a loss would be the cause. Laugh out loud. I also think he's the type who would shake a man's hand if he was sparked. I can't see him hitting an old dude either. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Fury. Listen, Fury, in my opinion, is a degenerate, but he's not on the level of Conor. To be fair, that is true. That is true. Pathetic, right, Jiho? But that's Joe Gallagher. That's Joe Gallagher. Put your hands up, Scott Quigg against Carl Frampton. Lose the first 6 rounds, 7 rounds, whatever. Come on strong at the end. Awful. I mean, and again, that comes from the trainer. The fact he's celebrating that goes to show what kind of attitude he implemented in Paul Butler's mind in training camp. Yes, we knew that Paul Butler was against it. Yes, we knew he was a massive underdog. But it's an undisputed fight, right? You've got to try to win. If Paul Butler went out there and went hell for leather early on and got knocked out in 2 rounds, I'd have more fucking respect for him. And I can understand the game plan that he was doing if he was doing that for like 5 or 6 rounds, and then he starts to try and open up. I can understand that as well. But he was there to survive. He was not there to win, and that was an undisputed title fight. I don't care how big of an underdog you are. That is unforgivable. He should retire. He should never get a fight on TV again. The man's a disgrace. Simple as that. Simple as that. Pathetic. That's how I see it. Facts. I agree. Nordic. I agree. I think Joyce beats Wilder. If Joyce doesn't get knocked out early on in like first 3 or 4 rounds, I think he beats Wilder. I think he stops him late. Fat cunt, yeah, Lucas Brown, yeah. I'm so gutted. I'm devastated. I'm absolutely distraught that Lucas Brown versus Manuel Charr fell through. Distraught. Couldn't believe it. I agree. I tend to agree, to be honest. I basically think it's 50-50, but I lean towards Wilder. That sort of bet's like a free hit. It could genuinely go either way. To be fair to AJ, I felt he handled the first 2 losses quite well. The first loss he handled quite well. But the Usyk ones kind of hit him harder. Because against Ruiz, I think he could always tell himself in the back of his mind, oh, well, I just got caught. I was winning. I just got... Whatever, I just got caught. You can kind of rationalize it. In the Usyk fights, he couldn't say that. He got outclassed. He got outboxed. He got outfoxed. He got outfought. Out-tacticked. He got out everything in that fight. And I think that's a lot harder to take when you realize there's a guy who's actually just better than me. He's better than me, and he's smaller as well. I'm bigger than this guy, got bigger biceps, I hit harder, I'm stronger, but he still beat me with skill. He's better than me. That's hard to take. I think you can rationalize a loss to Ruiz more so. In my mind, that's how I'm seeing it. I could rationalize that a lot easier and get over it a lot easier. Yeah, Joyce is good. I like Joyce. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in Butler. As a 2-time champion and a top 3 guy, you'd expect him to do more in an undisputed fight. He's also a pretty young guy. I regret arguing with the Yanks only for Butler too. Yeah, agree. Yeah, facts. Facts. Yeah. And again, listen, we knew he had very little chance, but you've got to put in some effort. You've got to put in some effort. It could happen. It could. I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will. I'm glad you agree that Fury is the greatest to ever do it. In a head-to-head sense, he beats a lot of guys. He does beat a lot of guys. In regards to greatness and legacy, I don't think he ranks. I really don't. Tyson Fury, for me, if we're going beyond boxing, is the mascot for a generation full of fuck-ups, a generation full of people, full of men who take no responsibility. Oh, let's just blame my feelings for why I didn't do this, why I acted out, why, etc., etc., etc. I think Tyson Fury is a sign of the times. As good as he is, he's a great fighter in regards to his talent, but as a role model, as a heavyweight champion, he doesn't make the benchmark, in my opinion. Doesn't make the benchmark. That's how I see Tyson Fury. I'm not doubting the guy's ability. I'm not doubting his skill. The guy's tremendously talented, but I think Tyson Fury, being as liked as he is, and it's the same for Wilder to a certain degree with his heart. I'm talking about hardcore fans, by the way. I'm not talking about regular Fury fans. But the way these guys are propped up, man, it's a reflection on society. Both of these guys are fucking degenerates, as far as I'm concerned. And AJ's just what he is. He's a corporate shill. He's always been a trolling twat, to be honest. He sold out, though, when he came back. You know, he basically made the pact with the devil, either literally or you know, figuratively or literally, whatever. He made his pact with the devil, and he came back, and you know, he's getting all these TV appearances, these sponsorships, these interviews, these podcasts, Christmas #1s. The guy sold out. He sold his soul. He sold his soul. And anybody with any honesty would admit that, even if you're a fan of Tyson Fury. He became what AJ is, basically. He's now what AJ is. A shill. A corporate shill. That's the truth. Big up to yourself, Tom. Big up to yourself. Yeah, I'll give him that credit, Gio. I'll give him that credit. I train very, very rarely these days, Lolo. I train very rarely. Very rarely. Like I went to the gym yesterday for the first time in like 2 months, I think, 2.5 months, and my arms are fucked. My arms are fucked. I wasn't sparring. I was just hitting the heavy bag and shit. It was when you look back at it, it does come across as theatre. It does come across as theatre. Yeah. Same. I was a fan of Tyson. I say fan. I don't like using that word, but I liked Tyson Fury. I supported Tyson Fury since his ITV4 days. Before he went to Channel 5, he was fighting on ITV4 against the likes of Nascimento, etc. Then he went to Sky for a bit, fighting like John McDermott. I've seen all of Fury's fights. I've been seeing this guy since he was on ITV4. He went pro on the undercard of Carl Froch versus Jean Pascal. I know more about Tyson Fury than most of his fucking fanboys do. I've followed his career longer. And I liked the guy. I did. I liked the guy coming up. I liked him until after the Klitschko fight. You know, he obviously, on his hiatus, he obviously shook some hands, kissed some ass, and sold his soul. That's a reality. That's a reality. Yeah. Fury's a fucking dosser. That's it. His resume's trash. Anyway, salute Del Boy. Merry Christmas. You too, Carlos. Listen, I think he can produce a great resume. He's still got time. I'm more talking about Tyson Fury and the reflection in which he is on society now. I think he paints a certain picture of where society's at these days. I do. And sometimes you get that with cultural figures. Yeah, I find it weird that Tyson, for years, the British public hated. The dude now, they blow him off. Yeah, I don't think they even realise it's the same dude. Well, you say it's the same dude, but to me, they are very different. Even the mannerisms are different. The way he carries himself is different. I think he's gone through some sort of training. On his hiatus, I think he went through some sort of training. I really do. I believe that. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. He went through some sort of training. But again, as a fighter, I'll give the guy his credit. He's very talented. He is very talented. There's no doubt about that. And if he never took his time out of boxing and he took boxing seriously from day one, who knows how good Tyson Fury could have been if he never like took all of his time out of boxing. Who knows how good he could have been? Because he is talented. There's no doubt about that. I won't say he's not talented, but I can dislike a guy. I can dislike what he stands for and still rate him skill-wise. You know. I think Usyk makes that guy miss time and time again, and Wilder tires and gets completely schooled behind the ropes. Maybe even stopped late, but I think Usyk on points. Usyk is everything a world heavyweight champion should be. Fury's a liar though, and protecting his O and his brand, and his dad's the biggest cunt. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is though, I think Tyson Fury on his day can beat anyone. I think he can beat Usyk. I think he can beat anyone. I was there for it though, Superman. For some reason, bro, I really wanted to see it. It's like a degenerate fight that means nothing, but I'm there for it. If Fury beats Joyce and Usyk, does he get in the top 10 of all-time heavyweights? I think then you could start making the argument, yeah. Listen, Tyson Fury's not that far away from achieving something like that. He isn't. I'm not. But he's got to do it. I don't rate Shishkin all that highly. Mabili, I liked, but his last performance wasn't as great. Silyagin, I rated, but his last couple again haven't impressed me. Shevchenko, I need to see more of. Skull, I've never seen. I know who he is. He's the Cuban. I've never seen him fight. And Bazian is the Russian dude based in Canada who's fought nobody. It's hard to say. Out of all those guys you mentioned, I wouldn't really put any on a pedestal. I'm not really expecting anything from those guys at 168. If we're talking about 168, I think Morel is the standout guy in terms of prospects, if you can call him a prospect. How so behind the ropes? I need to research that. I'm not doubting you in regards to Joe Fraser, but do you have any like sources that I can look at? Yeah, I agree, Reese. I agree. But I mean, listen. We see how the public are easily manipulated IRL with real topics, real subjects, real things that are going on. Doing it in boxing is not exactly hard. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely, BG London. Of course I do, man. It's a degenerate fight. Two fat messes, old shot going at it. I love it. Fury's trash talk back then was sick. It was so funny. It wasn't even that smart. It was just funny. He found a way of making it funny. But now it's, oh, you big dosser, bum city. All this nonsense. He's like a soundboard now. He's like a soundboard. I remember, I recall before the Christian Hammer fight, and he was saying, like, if I can't knock this guy out, I'm fucking useless. I mean, he looks like he belongs in he's got a wonky eye. He looks like he belongs in the fucking, like, mental hospital. Like, he was, like, disabled. He looks disabled, basically. Like, his trash talk back then was so funny. And now it's just like a soundboard. So he's like a soundboard now. I'd like to say the UK, but I wouldn't be shocked to see it in I wouldn't be shocked to see it in like Dubai. Usyk's a great fighter, but the likes of Tony Bellew landed the right hand countless times. So can Wilder, but they're totally different heights. They have totally different styles. Tony Bellew's a better counterpuncher than Wilder. They're different fighters. It's hard to say. They're different heights. They're different arm length. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, people said that going into the AJ fight. Well, Bellew landed all these right hands. Therefore, AJ's going to knock him out. Yeah, kinda. I'd agree, Superman. I don't think so. I think you're putting too much faith in Tyson Fury. I think you're putting too much faith in Tyson Fury. If he is playing 4D chess, then fair play, I guess. Fair play, but I don't think he is. I think he knows his role. I think he knows his role. I really do. Well, thank you, Roy. Legend. Thank you. What's your actual thoughts on Benavidez versus a good version of Canelo? I think Canelo's knee injury and hand injuries have dampened his last few performances. I think Benavidez gives him a hard time. I really do. He's big, he's strong, he's young. And one thing about Canelo is Canelo was never a high output fighter. And as he's gone up in weight, he throws even less combinations now. He's turning into a one punch at a time fighter. If that's a real fight and Benavidez comes to win, he will give Canelo Alvarez absolute hell. And if Canelo can't hurt Benavidez, he wins. Benavidez wins. If it's a real fight, if Benavidez actually comes to win. And that's how I see it. I think Canelo's on the way out. I really do. Hey Fury press conference was hilarious. Yes, it was. See, that's the Tyson Fury I liked. Yeah, I'm not named after a battleship. Yeah, Tyson Fury back then was fucking hilarious. I think he can beat Tyson Fury. I think it's in the realm of possibility. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think he can. I would make Tyson Fury a favorite, to be honest. But yeah, he's got a chance. He's got a chance. I'd agree as well. Well, thing is with Benavidez, the only thing with Benavidez is he's not going to make 168 for much longer, whereas Morrell can make it. I think he can make the weight for a while longer. I think Benavidez basically is trying to secure a Canelo fight. Hopefully that Caleb Plant fight happens. That's actually, believe it or not, that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to most. Any potential fight is Plant Benavidez. I think the trash talk in that fight is going to be lit, by the way. Thing is with Benavidez, what I like about Benavidez, he's respectful, but he's got that edge to him. He's got that edge. I think he's a real fighter, Benavidez. I do. He's made mistakes, don't get me wrong, missing weight and taking cocaine. He's a bit of a wild boy, no doubt about it, but I think that guy's a real fighter. I do. And I like the way he got into boxing is different to most fighters. Had very little amateur experience, but when he was a teenager, a rookie, he was sparring the likes of Golovkin, etc., in the gym. Kelly Pavlik, those sort of guys. That's where he did his learning, in the gym against world-class fighters. I think that guy knows how to handle himself. I really do. I really do. And I think he beats Caleb Plant. I think it's a good fight, though. I think Caleb Plant versus Benavidez is a really good fight. I think it's a good fight. Hopefully it happens. I mean, the PBC announced it, but the PBC make announcements before the announcement comes, if that makes sense. So we need to see it. We need to see that fight, man. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. We're all a bunch of fucking degenerates here, man. Yeah, Mr. Chubby Checker when it bouts against Kevin Johnson. See, I remember all of these press conferences. Again, I followed this guy from day one, basically. You know. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. No, quite frankly, no. I wouldn't say so. I mean, many felt Estrada lost that last fight with Gonzalez. Yeah, I'd say Ioka's top 10, though. I'm a man of the world, Lolo. I'm a man of the world. I'm a proud Del boy. I can't relate to most people in this country, man. NPCs. I can't relate to most of them. Yeah, I hope Benavidez beats Plant. Caleb is a scumbag. Plant thinks he's some elite fighter. Who the hell's he ever beat? 40-year-old Durrell or the overrated Venezuelan? Yeah. And I'm not saying, listen, Benavidez hasn't exactly beat a stellar list of competition, but I just think he beats fucking Plant. I really do. Yeah, I can see that, Superman. I saw his fight with Derek Chisora, the second fight at the Docklands in London. I really went there for Eubank versus Billy Joe, but that fucking night was chaos, bro. I'm telling you, that night was chaos. So if you had to put me in a box, like most NPCs would say right, but I don't adhere to any political party. I don't vote, don't believe in any party. I just have my opinions on the world, you know. It's one of those ones. I'm not that impressed with Fraser Clark, quite frankly. I'm not impressed. I'm not all that impressed. I think he could do like a domestic. I think he could get to domestic level, win a British title, maybe win a European. But past that, I think he'll struggle. I think Tommy Robinson was essentially a shill for the War on Terror. When Tommy Robinson was like really popping, the war on Terror was really at like its peak. That narrative was at its peak, and Tommy Robinson, despite how controversial he would get on every fucking TV channel, BBC, ITV, BBC Radio, Channel 4. He was all over online, getting all of these platforms. And when he was done with, when he wasn't useful anymore, then he got cancelled. Tommy Robinson, in my opinion, is an agent provocateur pushing the sham in which was the War on Terror. That's it. And now look at him. He's not useful anymore. We moved on to the next thing. COVID, for example, is what it is. So yeah, Tommy Robinson was always a shill. Useful idiot, I would say. Is snooker a sport? When I always see it as a game. I always see it as a game, to be honest. I don't really see it as a sport. I don't really see it as a sport. But listen, I like snooker. I like playing it at least. I'm not great at it though. I'm not great at it. Hang on, I need to fucking text somebody. 1 second. Being rude. Usyk dressing up as the Joker could be a response to Fury dressing up as Batman. Yeah, Fury's mind games won't work on Usyk. Yeah, I agree with that. It definitely won't work. I pick up Osama bin Laden. Salute. I thought you was dead, bro. Fury beats him. I'm kind of the same, Reese. You got to create your own value. Like very often with those sort of people, they're like the opposite of woke. Like I don't know. I find it weird to be like to place all of your value on something in which somebody else done, like your ancestors, for example, or people that came from your country. I've always found that extremely strange. I think it's a sign of low self-esteem potentially. But that's the world we live in now. Everything is so divided, you know. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to hate each other and we're supposed to be at each other's throats. And in the meantime, these guys will keep on seizing power by implementing certain mandates. pushing certain narratives. I mean, there were so many people who are happy with forced vaccinations and vaccine passports. So many people were willingly standing by doing nothing, right? And that's going to be the result when everyone's fucking fighting each other. Nobody's going to look upwards and see who's really shitting on them. That's how I see the world. Yeah, that guy should be locked up forever. That Sam Bankman-Fried guy, yeah. 250 million bail. That's crazy. Yeah, Tommy Robinson and Andrew Tate are from my ends. That says a lot, right? Says a lot. Everyone's fucking tapped around here. Oh, cuz. Fucking hell. Yeah, man, I just be myself, bro. It is what it is. No. No, I work full time. I work full time, Sly. Yeah, facts. I know. How does Riakporhe do against the current champions? I think he could beat Makabu. I think he could beat Makabu. Opataya, I think he really struggles. I think he gets outboxed soundly. Who else is there? Gulamarian. I think Gulamarian beats him. Who's the other champion? Is there one more? Gulamarian's WBA. Opataya is IBF. Yeah, Makabu's WBC. Who's the WBO champion? Oh, no, I don't think he beats any champion. Maybe Makabu. No, actually, maybe Makabu. Maybe Makabu, but he loses to everyone else. I know, I've never seen Pokemon. Absolutely not Lolo. No, I'm not. Joe Cordina. I think he can go the distance, but I think he loses. Basically Superman. I agree. And you see that throughout the boxing community. But again, that's just a microcosm of larger society, I guess. Yeah, Andrew Tate as well, yeah. Andrew Tate as well. Who else came from that area? We've had all sorts from Luton, bruv. I would probably favour Riakporhe over fucking Makabu, honestly. No, definitely not, Sly. Definitely not. But with a channel like mine, you know, most of my videos don't get monetized, obviously, because of the content. So some do, most don't know. I make a bit of money, but nothing like to hang my hat on. You know, it's a good side hustle. It's a really good side hustle, but oh god, Badu Jack versus Makabu's been ordered. I'd like Badu Jack to win. I like Badu Jack, to be honest. I think Badu Jack's always been a good fighter, underrated fighter. I'd like Badu Jack to win, but I think Makabu might be a bit too big, too strong. I think Badu Jack's never really got the respect he deserves. Got a bit unlucky in a couple of fights. I felt he clearly beat James DeGale, Badu Jack. Oh, that's a mountain I'll die. That's a hill I'll die on as well. I felt he clearly beat James DeGale. I never understood why people felt that was a close fight. It was competitive it was competitive, but I felt Badu Jack clearly won that fight. But there you go. Yeah, I think I tend to agree, Colin. I don't think Glowacki has it in him anymore for 12 rounds. Yeah, I felt he lost his last fight, Colin. I felt he lost his last fight. It's a mixed bag, Superman. It's a very mixed bag. It's like anywhere. There are beautiful women everywhere. But it's a mixed bag. I don't spend much time in Luton, really, these days, though. I'll be real. What do you guys know about Marsh Farm? Or Berry Park? What do you guys know about that? I would say so. Carlos. I would say so because of the size differences. I knobbed the bird from Luton in uni. She was legit. Took it in a public toilet. Top man. Top man. Do you know what? I actually thought that fight was a draw. I don't like draws in boxing, but I felt that fight was pretty much a draw, more or less. Could have gone either way. Maybe Badu had more reasons to win it, but I felt a draw was a fair result. Yeah, I mean, Badu Jack ruined James DeGale, and somehow he never got the W. I know that's not how you score boxing, but listen, that fight to me was so obvious that Badu won. Badu was good, man, and I loved his nickname as well. Badu Jack the Ripper. That's a great nickname. Simple. So we was talking about this earlier, like nicknames that don't make sense. That's one that makes sense. It's so simple, but it's so fucking good. I think so, yeah. He's all over the shop these days. Yeah, I think he is. Who would win at 140? Chavez Sr. or Mayweather at 140? That's a good fight. It's a good fight. Top TV shows growing up. I'm going to show my age here. I loved Robot Wars as a kid. I know it's technically not a series, I guess, but I loved Robot Wars. What else did I like? I didn't really watch many TV series. There was this crime drama from I want to say the mid to late 2000s. I want to say on ITV, but I forgot what it was called. I also really liked The Bill as a kid. I loved watching The Bill. Previously on The Bill. Loved it. Knobbed, yeah, it's a great word. It's a great word. Oh, Pingu. Pingu was fucking great. Gotta love Pingu. Fucking hell. I was a weird kid, though. I never liked that many cartoons. I gravitated towards adult content really early. I was watching shit like fucking Friday the 13th, Halloween at 7 years old, man. And I turned out okay. Yeah, Pingu was based. Robot Wars was sick, BG London. Fucking Craig Charles was the presenter, if you remember. And there was that football commentator commentating it. It's fucking great. It was fucking great. I've not seen Craig Charles in fucking years. Is that guy still about, Craig Charles? What's her name? What's Buffy's name? What's her real name? Fuck, what's her name? But yeah, she was fit. She was hot. Who was your first celebrity crush? That's a great fucking topic. Who was your first celebrity crush, guys? Mine was Denise Richards in Starship Troopers. She was so fucking hot back then, man. She was ridiculously hot. Not hot as in a way, there's different types of hot. There's hot as in, I just want to fuck you hot. But there's you're beauty hot. Does that make sense? She's just really beautiful hot. Denise Richards, to me, in her prime, was fucking elite. Absolute elite. Maria Sharapova was elite in her prime. I do rate Dua Lipa. So technically, she doesn't have my favorite body type, but her face is so appealing to me. Lucy Lawless in Xena. I never saw it. I can't lie. Never saw it. Banana Straightener. Craig Charles does random DJ sets. I liked Craig Charles. I can't lie. I liked Craig Charles. He was in Red Dwarf, wasn't he? Facts. These celebrity crushes just let me down for the reality of fat birds and chefs. Sally from Home and Away. My mum used to watch Home and Away when I was a kid. And I always remember it being on when I was off school. Home and Away. What's her name? Sally, yeah? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at BD's taste. Oh, I remember her, actually. I do remember her. I remember her, yeah. She has that MILF look. I see where you're going. I see where you're going with that. Is Home and Away even still on? Is Home and Away even still on? I think it's still going. Crazy. See, I was never a fan of Britney in regards to looks-wise. I was never... Listen, I'm not saying she was bad looking. I'm not saying that at all. But she just never did it for me like that. I can't lie. You too, Reese, man. Have a great Christmas, man. Enjoy yourself. Neighbours, that's the one that's over, yeah. Those sick days as a kid in the early to mid 2000s, what was on? Like fucking Jeremy Kyle, Doctors. Do you guys know Doctors? That I think it's on. I want to say BBC. It's on. Shannon Elizabeth. I'm gonna know her. I'm gonna know her when I see her. Oh yeah, she was Peng. Yeah, she was Nadia, wasn't she? Yeah, she was Nadia. Yeah, she was Peng. She was hot. She was definitely hot. See, I never rated Natalie Portman like that. I'm not. Again, when I say that, I'm not saying I wouldn't, because I clearly would. Clearly would. But like, I always felt somewhat overrated. But what are you saying about a prime Denise Richards in Starship Troopers? Casualty, Holby City, fucking hell, yeah. I guess it's closer to reality, bro. But that is true. There is a lot of hot, like, British actresses. That is true. You'd probably back DC if they fought 10 times. I'm sure Tyson would win a couple, but I'd probably back DC more often than not. Yeah. And also, like, I never found that super skinny thing really attractive. I never really found it attractive. And when I was growing up, I was born in '94. In the 2000s, when I was, figuring out what I liked, skinny girls were the thing, and I never really gravitated towards it. Listen, I could recognize very good looking women. They are pretty, like, facially, but like, I don't know, they were never my jazz. I like a little bit more, something to hold on to, just a little bit of something to hold on to. Thick but not fat. I know there are exceptions though. Like Denise Richards wasn't thick, but I just felt her beauty was so outstanding that like it made up for everything else, kind of thing. Same with like someone like Dua Lipa. That's another one who would fit that mold. Do you know what I mean? Facts. You need something to hold on to. You need something to hold on to. Like, have you ever been with a girl, yeah, and like it doesn't clap properly? If that makes sense, it just doesn't feel as satisfying, does it? It doesn't feel as satisfying. We've all, you know what I'm saying? It's all about them cheeks. Facts. That's what I'm saying, BG London. That's what I'm saying. You know those skinny girls, yeah? She's in doggy, and like you see her cheeks, but there's no slappage. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no like. They don't. Kelly Brook. What's Kelly Brook looking like now? Yeah, like a prime Kelly Brook's a good example. She was decent. I'm 6'5". If they're much below 5'6" and very thin, it's usually a demolition job. You basically go Arta better beer than that fish. Terence Crawford's a lucky man. Low key, yeah. If his girl actually lost weight, I think she'd probably be decent looking. Fucking hell. Yeah, Bud likes some thick with like 17 C's. Yeah, Bud likes some super thick. See, I'm not a super thick man, much to the rumours, the rumours that say that I am, but they are completely unfounded. But I like thick, like regular thick. I don't really have any, bro. I don't watch porn these days, but when I was a kid, Alexis Texas was one. Trying to think of names now. Lisa Ann was another. I'm really struggling after that, though. I'll be real. I'm really, 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 really struggling after that. Who was the other one? The other MILF? I forget her name. I don't know. I forgot her name. There was another MILF I liked back in the day when I was coming up. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt, Albanian. No doubt. Yeah, Bud can work those body shots. Yeah, must be good conditioning in training camp. Don't recognise the name. I don't think it was her. This was when I was like in my teens, like early to mid teens, I guess. Well, early to late teens, maybe. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I'm not up to date with the current porn scene because I'm not a degenerate anymore. Oh, really? My mate does ski seasons, and Rebecca Moore was shooting in the chalet over. Nice, man. Should have. Who's Rebecca Moore? I think I know who that is. Yeah, I do know who that is. That name rings a bell. Tory Lane. I think I know who that is. You've jolted a memory. Yeah, I know who that is. I definitely watched some of her content in my youth. No doubt. She's not my bag, and I try not to watch it. But since me and the bird broke up, I've been whacking it for your time. It's so chavvy. My girlfriend flipped out when she realized I was watching a Kimmy Granger video as she was blowing me. Yeah, that was a rough one to come back from. Fucking hell. Yeah, that was kind of crazy, but he just caught him off balance. It is what it is. I've always liked that woman, Stacey Keebler, when I watched wrestling as a kid. Legs up to Canada. I remember her when I watched wrestling, yeah. Who else was there when I watched wrestling? Trish Stratus was one. She was all right. I liked Lita as a kid. You know Lita? She was all right. Thank God for genetically modified foods. Thick chicks galore in 2022. Facts. But again, BG, there's a difference though between thick and fat. There's a big difference, my friend. The rumours need to be deaded in 2023. But I go for fat girls. These rumours are totally unfounded as well. I don't know where they came from. And these chicks are going to be looking extra thick in January, I'm telling you, after that turkey and that stuffing. You know what I'm saying? Extra thick. BG London's going to be stalking those gyms in early January. I don't really remember Tori Wilson, I'll be real. I know the name, but I forget what she looked like. Who else was in WWF, like female-wise? There wasn't that many. I wouldn't know anyone now. Would you rather do a Denise Richards with Arta Beterbiev-sized hands or a Kelly Brook with Golovkin-sized forearms? I'd go Denise Richards. I would just say to her, do not touch, like no hand jobs. That's basically. I'd go Denise Richards. I'd go Denise Richards. Me and Dell doing a London roast for Beterbiev versus Yard. Know a little sore spot near Wembley that I used to smash on the regular. Not in the gyms, they're trying to lose it. If you get there quick enough, OBG London, if you get there quick enough, you might get a few decent ones. Fucking hell. But yeah, we need to get back on the scene, guys. I've been neglecting myself the last couple of months. The last link's gone. It's dead. It's done. It's over. It's finito. And that was like October. So my form has been poor this winter. It's been really poor. I can only blame myself though, because I've put in no effort. I've put in no effort whatsoever. I've got one thing though at the minute. She's not really my type. She's skinny as well. Not a looker. When she makes herself up, she's all right. But she's not exactly a looker. And she's like, I've known her for a while as well, but she's just split up with her boyfriend. So that's a free hit right there. But I'm not really sure I want to do it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, you have to keep sharp. You know, it's like when a fighter fights a low-level opponent, we complain as fans, but, you know, sometimes you got to shake the cobwebs off, stay sharp, you know, stay active, you know, because if you don't stay active, ultimately you're going to lose your skills. Your skills are going to erode. And the next time a big championship occasion comes up, you're going to fall short. And we can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have it. Probably not, bro. I'm not going to lie. It depends. It depends, I guess, but probably not. It depends. Facts. I need to get on form in 2023. If it was, yeah, that would be pay-per-view, I think. Superman. I don't know whether it'd fill out Liverpool though. Callum Smith's he's not like a big name, really. He's not really a big name. Hinge is crazy. Had girls coming round to use the sauna. I've never used Hinge. I've never used it. I might have a look at it, Colin. I'll take your advice. Yeah, basically, I am Keith Thurman. A lot of potential, but far too inactive. No, I would say I'm like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. A lot of potential, but doesn't fight enough. Man. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a looker on a Saturday night at 11:45. Facts. I completely struck out last Saturday. I completely struck out. And I didn't really try that hard, I'll be real, but like I had a couple of attempts, didn't go anywhere, man. I failed. See, it's not all about success, you know. It's not all about success. It's like boxing. Sometimes you'll have a sparring session, and somebody gets the better of you. But it's about learning. It's about coming back from that and learning. Yeah, you got to learn. You got to learn from your mistakes. Learn from your failures. You know. Women are like boxing. Is what I'm trying to say. Approach women like a boxer would approach his career. You know. Yeah, I'm in okay shape right now. I'm in okay shape, you know. Shape's never really been an issue per se. I'm not a tall, lanky guy, but yeah, I agree. I agree, Will. He is dangerous. He is dangerous, no doubt. He seems to be punching harder. He seems to be punching harder. I want to see him in there though with like a test before he fights for a title. See, I'd love to see Smith versus Buatsi. That'd be a great fight. So, sometimes you feel like that though. You know, sometimes there are certain nights where you feel like everything that you says comes off. It works so well. Everything goes your way on certain nights for whatever reason. And other nights nothing goes right. It's weird. I'm sure it's an energy that they can fucking sense. I'm sure of it. Facts, yeah. Beggars can't be choosers after midnight. That's true. One time boy. Del one time boy. Yeah, women are like boxing. Got to be 3 shots ahead and always wrap up. Have you seen Froch's wife? He admits that she can't cook or clean properly. She also does nude magazine shoots. You'd think a millionaire like a superstar like Froch would do better. Yeah, you'd think so, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird. See, I'm kind of like I'm about 6'2". I'm like 175, so I'm kind of skinny. I'm a tall, lanky guy, but it works for me. And when I boxed, I had the same like physique if I was wearing my clothes, but I had like a 6-pack. When I boxed, I had a 6-pack, like like a skinny boy 6-pack, like like a skinny boy 6-pack, and chicks didn't like it. They or not all, but like a lot didn't like it. Right now, I've got a flat belly, no flab, but flat. Fleshy Dorticos vibe. I think Callum would beat Yard. I think he's too big as well, mate. In terms of height. Yeah, sometimes you can't hit a barn door. Yeah, that's exactly it. And there's certain nights you feel like you're fucking like Lionel Messi. Everything you touch goes in. You know, it's weird. I'm sure they can sense it, man. I'm sure they can. Like, they can sense the energy. Like, if you've got like with one chick, or you've like maybe even if it's just like getting a number, it kind of boosts your confidence. You go somewhere else, different club, and you get with another chick, your confidence is up. I think that's what it is really. When you're on a good bit of form, your confidence is just like over through the roof. You're basically like Evgeny Tishenko. Then you're like a big cruiserweight. Keith once every time, one time every 2 years. Yeah, so basically you're a big cruiserweight. You're a really big cruiserweight. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, she's loud as well, Nordic. Can be at ringside for certain fights, man. Fucking hell, crazy. There is that as well, Superman. Yeah, there is that as well. I agree with that. Have you noticed when you have no options and really want to pull, it's much tougher. But when you have when you've got good options, you get a lot of luck pulling. That is true, actually. When you've got active links, again, it seems like more women are willing to throw themselves at you, even though they don't know you've got links. But there's too like sometimes like I don't get in committed relationships, but like I wouldn't want more than two links on the go at once because it's too hard. It's too much work. It's too much time. And quite frankly, I'd rather just have one link, like one current link. It's just easier. It's just easier. But right now we're sitting here with no links. Zero. Nada. None. Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. That's the way of a lot of guys when they get a bit of money. But is there still a part of that, Nordic? There is still a part of that. With certain certain occasions where I've pulled. You know, sometimes you glance in a club and you see a girl and she's glancing at you. You kind of make eye contact for a while. You're eyeing each other up. You don't say anything for a while, and eventually you kind of bump into each other, and it hits off from there, kind of thing. But I think that's still a real thing. Yeah, true. I know. I don't even feel that tall, BG, at 6'2". I don't really feel that tall. I feel like a bit above average in terms of height. The best thing is though, I am taller than all of my close friends, so like I've got that as well. It makes me look better. It makes me look better. That's good. I feel like a dwarf who travelled the land of the big people. I bet you pack a punch though. I wouldn't want to fight one of those like a smaller, stockier guy. I'd rather fight someone my own height, even if they're a little bit heavier than me. I'd rather fight that person than a smaller guy who's stocky. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't really get hit on by fat girls that much. I remember once though when like she literally cornered me in like a fucking booth in a bar. I forget what the occasion was. I think it was my friend's mum's wedding, and we went out afterwards. And there was this fat girl who was at the wedding. Like when I say fat, I'm not trying to be derogatory, but she was massive, like a proper fridge freezer, massive. And she took a liking to me very early on. And I'm not rude, like in person. I wouldn't say to her, "Oh fuck you." I humoured her, talking to her and whatnot. And yeah, it got more and more. Like she should have realised, right? I was so uncomfortable, but I didn't have the heart to say like no. And yeah, you know how that goes. I didn't fuck her, by the way. I didn't fuck her. I didn't fuck her. But yeah, that was a. Honestly, I've been in some bad situations, and that's arguably the most uncomfortable I've ever felt. Weirdly. Weirdly. Like, honestly. I said this earlier. If Wilder can't get him out of there in 3 or 4 rounds, I think Joyce grinds him down and stops him. Yeah, short, stocky cruisers were a ball ache when I boxed. Yeah, I don't like the shorter guys, man. Because when they get inside on me personally, I can't fight on. I cannot fight on the inside. I really can't. I look like a fucking pterodactyl when I try and fight on the inside. I can't shorten my punches that well at all. I really can't. My uppercuts are shit. My hooks on the inside are shit. The only good punch I have, like at mid range, kind of on the inside. I've got a decent short overhand right, but I'm fucking terrible on the inside. Awful. I think Michael Grant beats him. Yeah, I've got that Mike Tyson natural build. I'm wide and have broad shoulders. Yeah, you can iron guys out with that build. Like you can iron guys out. No, I've been there, Superman. I remember once, this was like the most triggered I've ever been on a night out. This was about, it must have been 3 years ago. So I was what, 25? And we was clubbing, doing our thing, as we do. I got talking to this woman who was like maybe, I want to say probably early 40s, and she was like a proper MILF. And yeah, we got talking, we got dancing, all that touchy feely shit, grinding, kissing, bloody, bloody, blah. Great, going amazing. Like I've never really had much experience with MILFs, so this night was turning into a dream. Anyway, talking for ages. Was basically with each other for like the whole night. At the end of the night, she kind of broke down. Oh, I've just got divorced, bloody, bloody, blah. So I was basically rebound dick, which I'm fine with. Cool, I'm fine with. She kind of got over that, like got over it, and she said, "Oh, she wanted to take me home." And then her gay best friend comes over, and he completely cock blocks me. Oh, this guy's trying to take advantage, blah 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 blah, all that shit. And like, bro, it was the most frustrating experience I've ever had in life, and I've made a lot of mistakes. But I don't think I've been like more angry than that night. I really don't. And my friend nearly got in a fight with that dude as well. And yeah, that was done. It was done. I was so pissed, man. It winds me up thinking about it now. It winds me up thinking about it now, honestly. Because I'd have pounded the fucking shit out of her, man. It winds me up. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Seething. Seething, man. Absolutely seething. I was pissed. And I was so wound up as well the next... I was so pissed off. I'm sure the next day when I drove home, because I woke up early, I'm sure I was still fucking pissed up. I'm sure of it. I was so fucking angry. I was so pissed. Like she looked like I don't know how to describe her, but she was blonde. She was all right. She was nice. She was decent. Like she was looking for it, man. I can't believe that guy somehow managed to fucking cunt. Oh, not for a long time, bro. Not since I was like 17, 18. Not for a long, long time. Yeah, Superman. I've got a bit of a thing for chubby girls, for cute chubby girls. My friend thought she looked like a whale. I just saw a whole lot of women. Each to their own. Each to their own. I'll take the rebounds, Nordic. I'll take the rebounds and kick him out the next day. But it is what it is. Yeah, I was seething, bro. I was seething. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. That's just my luck as well, honestly. Because the oldest I'd been with previously to that was like 32, I think it was. And I was 23 then. That's the oldest I've been with. Like, that's the biggest age difference. And that's probably that is the oldest I've been with as well. It's 32. I'm 28 now. So I've never had that true MILF experience. I wouldn't go 50. I wouldn't go 50, BG. I wouldn't. It depends. Again, there are outliers. There are outliers. But on a whole, I wouldn't go 50. I wouldn't go 50, personally. But there are always outliers, my good sir. It is pretty if I ever get in a street fight, I'm aiming kicks straight for the balls, no mercy. There's no such thing as a fair feet fight. No such thing as a fair street fight, especially in this day and age. Back in the day, yeah, there was, but no, not anymore. Not anymore. So you're probably best off doing something like that. And in all honesty, like I'm kind of fucking shook to fight now. I don't want to get fucking stabbed. My biggest fears were getting stabbed. Well, back in the day when I used to kind of get in trouble, my biggest fear really was going to prison and also getting stabbed. But now these days, like stabbings have got even worse. Like I don't want to fucking start shit with anybody, to be honest. You know. I'd rather not fight these days, man. I'm not a fighting man anymore. I'm not a fighting man. I'm not an hard man. Never knobbed any like markedly older birds. 31 now. You've still basically got the pick of the litter at 31. You've still got the pick of the litter. You can really go any direction. Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's annoying, bruv. It's so annoying. So annoying. It depends on how hard you get them. It depends on how hard you kick, I guess. if you don't completely knock the wind out of them, yeah, you could be fucked. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm worried about these days is getting stabbed. Like I nearly got in an altercation last weekend in the bar, like because the bar was packed. I kind of barged myself like through the fucking crowd and I knocked some guy. I knocked two guys. There's one little kid who I knocked like I barged past him and I knocked him like a couple of feet back. He didn't do shit. And there's this other guy about my height, literally my build, and he was like trying to start shit. So I had to calm that shit down. Not looking to fight, bro. Not looking to fight. A guy at my work got sacked recently for beating the crap out of a junkie who threatened to stab him. Fucking hell. See, for me, that's self-defense. I don't care whether it's just a threat. They shouldn't have sacked him. Yeah, there's nothing honourable about starting a fight with somebody who doesn't want to fight. Or if it's like mutual, I believe, do you know, one law there's only a few American states where I believe this exists, but the mutual combat law, where if two guys agree to fight, it's on. They can fight each other. I like that law. I don't think the law applies it doesn't apply if you use weapons. But if you just have a fist fight on the streets and you win a fight, it is what it is. You can't get done for it. It's mutual agreement. It's like a mutual agreement, mutual combat, whatever it's called. I love that law. That law sounds so fucking sick. That law sounds so fucking good. To me, that's just common sense, though. I think that's a great law. I really do. I agree, Albanian boxer, a great fight. First fight, though, is the best fight. I actually felt Barrera won the first fight, though. And Morales won the second fight when he never got the decision. I felt the score in that trilogy was right, but I felt the first fight and the second, I think it was the second fight, was scored incorrectly. Exactly, Superman. Yeah, stabbed, acid attacks, and even guns. Yeah, better to be safe than sorry these days because it's a horror story in the streets these days. I agree. Not worth it. It's not worth the risk, is it? Yeah, the problem. Okay, I'll get you, Nordic. So yeah, basically he kept on punching. Well, again, this is where just common sense needs to apply. They obviously saw the CCTV. They heard his side of the story. Like, I would take the side of my employee. You know, that's where common sense just needs to apply. Like, maybe he shouldn't have went hard like that, but like, I mean, come on. No, Pacquiao won the first fight, in my opinion. I felt he won the second fight clearly. I felt the third fight was the debatable fight. I think the third fight is the fight where Marquez had the best case, personally. The first two fights are like completely fake. It's not even. I don't think there's any real controversy there. But the first two fights, Pacquiao won, in my opinion. Third fight, yeah, you can talk about that, and obviously we know what happened in the fourth fight. That's how I see it, at least. That's how I see it. But anyway, guys, I need to wrap this up because I'm fucking starving. I need to get something to eat. But yeah, if I don't speak to you guys before Christmas, have a great Christmas. Stay safe, but more importantly, enjoy yourselves. Spend time with family, loved ones. Eat, drink, be merry, all that good stuff. And hopefully 2023 is a prosperous year for all of you. But yeah, guys, have a great Christmas. Peace out. More than likely the last stream for the year. There may be one before New Year, who knows, but more than likely the last stream of this year. Maybe even the last upload this year on this channel. We'll see. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace out. Been a pleasure. Salute, guys.